So I want to quickly just respond to this. Just to discuss this. I think this is a very intriguing question, and I think it probably would be the answer would be very dependent on the starting point of a healthcare system. You know, the US actually, I think what you were saying seems to be consistent with what I'm hearing from other researchers who are not seeing major evidence yet that it has significant impact on delayed care in the US. I wonder if one of the hypotheses is that even in the baseline, the US utilization is a little bit tending on the excessive side. And I think this will be very different if we take it to a situation like India, like I would say even the UK, where use of acute care services is much more constrained and conservative. So it's a great question. It's very dependent on the situation. Now, some of them might be even delayed care and have no impact on health outcome as well. But I think these are important to assess so that we can have a complete picture.
Right, I agree that the point that you raised is very important, that the U.S. probably starting off at a very high point, maybe a little bit too much care already.
Yeah.
And so trimming off a little bit fat probably is not going to hurt that much. Mm-hmm. And also one of the things that I want to mention is that, you know, although a lot of the although there's a huge decline in in-person visits, but there's also a huge increase in telehealth, which substitutes for a lot of the decline of in-person visits. So that to some degree will moderate the impact of the delayed care as well. Right.
So on that, now again, we need to have more empirical evidence. But let me, that's the slide I actually skipped.
Right, yeah.
So this is from the US, but I think it's only from a health plan, this is showing the reduction in offline visits. And this is the increase in the online visit. The scale is different. The offline visits, actually, the online visit, which only make up a not very sizable proportion of the reduction in offline visit. But again, does the US start with overusing? We don't know. I am looking at some China data as well. I think that the online visit probably only make up, again, a not too big proportion, less than half, definitely, of the offline reduction. But China also started with using too much sometimes. So we have to really get to the details of how much of that is really having a negative impact.
Yeah, I think in political.com, there's an article, maybe today, maybe yesterday, there was a similar figure from 37 different healthcare systems in the US. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone's seeing the same thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's yesterday, actually.
Yes. I think it's interesting to see that these patterns are emerging. I mean, even the earliest slide that I showed that in England, the reduction in admission for cardiac patients, the reduction is about 50%. The data that I'm analyzing in China for ischemic stroke is also about 50%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. So
I think with more of them being done, we might be able to have some converging evidence that give us a bit more information.
I'm sure, yeah. When more data comes in, we will be able to have a better idea what the real impact is. Okay, I think my part is done. I think my thoughts are very limited, and I think I'm happy to turn it over to whoever wants to ask more questions.